we will be trying to analyze the term not on the basis of meaning, rather on the basis of the location or the nativity or on the basis of the language. Now, what did we do in the last 2 days? First of all, we had a term, we split the term, we make a general meaning of the same, we make a general meaning, and you go with that option which has the closest resemblance or the closest meaning of the same. This is what we did for the past 2 days. Now, but today we'll be going for a different type of logic. We will be trying to analyze the term not on the basis of meaning, rather on the basis of the location or the nativity or on the basis of the language. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, what comes to your mind when you hear the word Hindu Masur Sabha? Is it a North Indian organization? Is it related to North India? Or is it related to South India? Now, this is the way you have to think when you hear the terms. Let's say when you hear the word Tangta, it's mostly in the Northeast, right? When you hear the word Kalari Payattu, it's something related to Dravidian or South India, right? So when you hear the word Chatterjee, or when you hear the word Bose, mostly it's related to people from the West Bengal, right? So in this way, you try to deduce the names and you try to deduce everything on the basis of the term given, or the nativity, or let's say on the basis of language. So when you hear the word Hindu Mastur Sabha, is it a North Indian or a South Indian organization? It's definitely a North Indian organization, right? So therefore, B. Krishna Pillai, EMS Namboodiripadu, and KC John are basically Keralites. So therefore, they would never form an organization with the name Hindu Mastur Sabha. So therefore, you can eliminate option A. Now, Jayaprakash Narayan, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, M. N. Roy are basically North Indian people, right? So therefore, they can form an organization with respect to Hindu Masur Sabha. But with respect to Sir C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer, K. Kamaraj, Veerasingam Patlu are basically Tamil and Telugu people. Would they form an organization named Hindu Masur Sabha? Definitely not, right? So therefore, we can eliminate option C. Now, what about Ashok Mehta, North Indian? T.S. Ramanujan can be a South Indian, but G.G. Mehta is also a North Indian. So therefore, D can also come as the answer. Now we are left with both option B and C. Now, what can you do here? Now, here, look at the ideologies. Jayaprakash Narayan is a socialist, right? He is a socialist. Deen Dayal Upadhyaya is a BJP person, right-wing person, and M. N. Roy is a communist. Do you think these three persons of different ideologies would ever come together and form an organization? Would they even talk to each other? No, right? So therefore, these people are different ideologies. UPSC have provided for us to simply eliminate them. So we can eliminate option B and go for D. Now, this is the way you have to do it. Okay? Go for the nativity or go for the language, and then you will be able to deduct which person or which organization has done the same. Now, moving on to the next question here. When you hear the word grease lighting, what comes to your mind? Can you deduct by using the previous technique, greased and lightning? Something greased and lightning. Are you able to make a meaning out of it? No. Now, what is the next logic? You try to find out the nativity or the location of the same. So here, electric plane tested by NASA. Now, NASA might have something, an organization or a plane or something related to grease lighting, right? That's a possibility. Do you think Japan would have a space mission or an aircraft named grease lighting? Do you think Japan would form an organization? Do you think a Chinese space observatory would be named grease lighting, an English name? Do you think a reusable or rocket by ISRO would be named grease lightning, an English term? It's impossible, right? Usually our space missions are Chandrayaan, Shukrayaan, not Shukrayaan, Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, PSLV, GSLV, and all these different things, right? Mostly Hindi-based terms. And China would be Tianwen, Tiangong, Baki sab. Japan would be Hayabusa and Baki sab, right? So, but then the question here asked about an English term. Therefore, Japan, China, India, or ISRO would never come. Therefore, we can directly go with option A. Here also, what we did, we basically guessed from the language or the nativity that all these other nations would never form an organization, would never provide name to something which is an English term. Therefore, you can directly go with NASA as the option here. Now, moving on to the third question. Now, what about here? Now, here, the question basically talks about protected areas in the Kaveri basin, right? Now, Kaveri flows through which states? It basically flows through Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala, right? Now, what can we eliminate here? Now, what is usually, or which state is usually associated with the word Konda here? You have Nagarjuna Konda, you have RM Konda, you have Kondareddy tribe. So, which state is usually associated with the word Konda? It's basically Andhra Pradesh who is basically associated with the word Konda, right? So, therefore, Kaveri does not have a base in Andhra Pradesh. So, therefore, you can eliminate option 2 here, and the rest comes in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and therefore, you can go with option C here. So, here also, what would you do? Usually the word Konda is associated with the state Andhra Pradesh, just like Giri is mostly South Indian term, right? Nilagiri, Biligiri, Mahendragiri, right? So you have to always guess the terms on the basis of the location, language, and all the other different things. So what do you have to do in case of when terms are asked? Always think in terms of the state where they originate, in the country in which they originate, and also think about the language. Is this an English term? Now, Indian missiles would not be named some English term, right? Mostly it's Agni, BrahMos, named after Hindu gods and goddesses. The Indian ships would be named after queens or ladies. Mostly it won't be named after the men out there. So try to connect with the words, try to connect the caste name of different states. Let's say Gaikwad would be in Baroda. Bonsle would be here. Kerala names, Tamil Nadu names tend to have a very lengthy name and is very elaborate. It should have a Dravidian touch to it. So try to connect all these things with different locations, natives, and therefore you can apply these logics as well. So TK, so in the next video, we'll be dealing with on how to do the extreme statements, which is totally different from what we have taught in terms of word deconstruction. Thank you and see you all in the next video. And make sure you subscribe, share, and forward it to your friends as well. Thank you.